Hello, today I'm going to show you how you can draw shiny objects from observation. This is an exercise that anybody can do, whether you're an advanced artist or a beginner artist. The aim of this is to teach you what to look for so that you can apply that to your drawing. The first thing that you need to do is you need to get an accurate outline of the object that you're drawing. So I've done this fairly quickly. When I do my first initial drawing, I make sure that I press with the pencil very, very lightly so that if I make any mistakes, I can rub them out or correct them. I don't tend to rub them out because I've drawn them so lightly that I can cover them with tone and shading later. So keep this in mind when you're drawing. To do an observational drawing, I think it's really important to think about the angles and the proportions of what you are drawing. I do go into a bit more detail on how to do that in previous videos. I talk about something called the clock face technique, and I show you how to measure with a pencil. So that might be worth a watch if you're interested. I'll link that below. Another thing that you might notice that's a bit unusual about this drawing is the fact that I'm drawing on toned paper. So you can get artist grade paper, which is brilliant if you've used this exercise and you really enjoy it and you think that it will benefit your work. But I find that can be quite expensive to pay for if you're just doing it for a practice. So this is actually the other side of a cereal box. It's not archival, it's not going to last long. Archival papers are what you should be working on if you are aiming to sell your work, but if you're practicing and you're just learning how light and dark works together and working out how to use tone, then this is really good. So when I'm using tone on toned paper, I like to start with the lightest lights first. However, I don't mark them in very, very hard yet. I can always go back and press harder with the pencil, but if I've gone in too hard, either with the light pencil or the dark pencil, then I can't rub that out. So you'll see I'm drawing very lightly with both pencils first. I start with the light, I mark out where the lights are going to be, and then I go back in with the black pencil and I start to mark them in. It looks like I'm going very dark with the black pencil, but it could go a lot darker if I wanted it to. And then I continue to work into that with the mid-tone graphite pencil, just your everyday pencil. And I rotate between the three pencils to try and find that balance of tone. I'm looking for light tones, mid-tones and dark tones. And sometimes by marking in the dark tones or the light tones in the background, it helps you to see the tones that are in front of you on the object as well. Everything is in relation to everything else around it. So if you make something really dark, everything else needs to go darker in relation to that. Think about it, if you've got an image on Instagram and you start to change the contrast, it's not just the contrast of one tone that changes, it's everything. The lights go lighter and the darks go darker and the mid-tones do something in between. So you've got to try and find that balance of the tones that you want to find. And you can see towards the end, I start to really mark in those highlights and then I really mark in those shadows as well. And then to find the balance between those, I'll use the graphite pencil and I just keep working all the way around it. I don't like to see when artists work on one area perfectly and then move to the next area because I don't feel that they're finding the balance in their work. Some people are really good at doing it and that is an absolute talent and they should be credited for that, but I find that my brain and most human brains work, you've got to piece it together. It's kind of like it's like a puzzle. Put it together piece by piece. Don't go too far with dark tones or light tones at the start because you can always add more, but it's very hard to take things away. Another thing that's really important to notice about shiny objects is the contrast. The contrast between light and dark happens very suddenly. If you look at a matte object, the tones and gradients change very softly, but if you look at a shiny object, you'll find it goes from very light to very dark very suddenly. It's not got that gradual change of a matte object. So to really get a shiny object to look shiny, that's my top tip. Get some solid contrasts that happen really suddenly, and all of a sudden it will look shiny. Suddenly dark to suddenly light, with some tones in between. You'll get some gradients in there. If you've made it all the way to the end of my video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, comment below and subscribe to my channel for more. See you next time.